University of Texas, located in Austin, the legacy of the Longhorns. National champions in 63, 69, and 70. The burnt orange and white have been worn by such players as Bobby Lane, Tommy Novus, Heisman Trophy winner Earl Campbell, and then there was a man most synonymous to Texas football, Darrell Royal. The tradition continues with Brett Akers, who opens his 7th season with national championship aspirations. Auburn University, a dominant power in the 50s and 60s, including a national championship in 57. Remember, Tucker Frederickson, Terry Beasley, and the other half of that combination, Heisman Trophy winner Pat Sullivan, Joe Cribbs, Jerk Jordan kept Auburn as Southern power for 25 years, and now it's on Pat Dye's shoulders to bring back Auburn to a national power. A classic college confrontation, Auburn and Texas.
In Auburn, Alabama, it's the Texas Longhorns versus the Auburn Tigers. Sponsored by Chevrolet. Chevrolet is taking charge. And by Mr. Goodrich and General Motors Parts.
Auburn University, founded in 1856. Jordan-Hare Stadium, named after Sir Jordan, where fans began to arrive as early as last Thursday. A sellout, Texas against Auburn. Hi, everybody. I'm Gary Bender, and what a way to start the 2nd season of college football on CBS. We're glad to have you with us. Next week, we'll be in the Orange Bowl as Notre Dame meets Miami. November 26th, a game that could have the national title on the line. Oklahoma against Nebraska. And a guy that's going to be with me throughout this 1983 season, our expert commentator, Pat Hayden. Pat, in the preseason, both these teams are labeled as legitimate national contenders. Now, Texas comes in here with 8 defensive starters returning.
You know, Gary, and Fred Akers thinks his front 7 on the defense may be the best in the history of Texas. Now, that's saying something considering Texas teams. The real question mark for Texas is on offense, particularly at quarterback.
Auburn's already played. They won last week against Southern Mississippi 24-3. Many people, Pat, will tell you that you improved the most as a football team from the first to the 2nd game.
Well, I agree with you, Gary, and I think it's a distinct advantage for Auburn having already played a football game. Auburn runs a wishbone offense, and it's a little bit different, and they rarely turn the football over. It's an intelligent, disciplined type of offense. And a defense like Texas, they return an awful lot of people.
And now here come the Texas Longhorns. To see what kind of team they have. Picked to win the Southwest Conference title, a ground they haven't won in 5 years. And now you're looking under the stadium. Auburn awaiting their entrance to the field. Pat Dye wanting to win some national recognition for the Tigers. He wants to win a big game. He wants to know if the Tigers are made of the right stuff. The players with an edge, a quiet confidence, and here comes Auburn. The War Eagle. Texas comes into this game plagued with injuries. They lost their starting tight end, Bobby Mitchell, a wide receiver in Ronnie Mullins, linebacker Jeff Lighting, but the most costly at quarterback. Todd Dodge sustained a shoulder separation last Friday. We're going to have a new man running the team.
Well, we may have 2 new men, Gary. Rob Morshell and Rick McIver. Morshell, the option type of runner, steady, heady. He's not going to make the plays that are going to beat you. McIver, the tall, strong-arm quarterback, the type of quarterback that can bring you from behind. 2 really different types of offenses.
Fortunately, they're behind an outstanding offensive line. How about Doug Dawson? He's a preseason All-American at guard.
Well, not only that, he's an excellent student as well. And I think it's important for Doug Dawson and the center, Mike Ruther, to start off well, to give the quarterback some protection, some time, let him build some confidence and develop some leadership.
We talked about football tradition, the running backs at Auburn. And one year they had Andrews along with Brooks and Cribbs. This year, Bo Jackson, Lionel James.
When I'm thinking Bo Jackson, I think three words: speed, power, instincts. The amazing thing about him, he's such a versatile athlete. Actually, he's the first three-sport letterman in Auburn, in Auburn's last 30 years.
Lionel James, the computer said he couldn't play football. He's 5'7". He's the best blocker on this Auburn team. He also led the nation in punt returns last year. Football tradition, what an opener. Auburn against Texas. This is the 5th meeting between these two clubs, and Texas leads this series 3-1. And we talked about tradition, the hook 'em horns, the band playing prior to this Texas game. Whether they're on the road or at home, this is a tradition, and that's the reason Texas has so much respect. And Auburn hoping to win some of that national recognition that Texas has. The game conditions, it's warm. We might even say it's hot. But both these teams are used to this kind of weather. 85 degrees the temperature. The forecast, no rain. We were concerned about that at the start of the week. But the skies are clear. Auburn University is in Bedlam. The people have waited a long time for this. Some arriving here on Thursday in their recreational vans, setting up shop outside this beautiful stadium, Jordan-Hare Stadium. As Al Del Greco, a senior from Key Biscayne, Florida, will be kicking off for the Auburn Tigers. And the deep men are going to be Kelvin Epps. That's Epps, number 40, out of Dallas, a junior. And a man that's also going back there, you're going to hear a lot about, a freshman, Edwin Simmons, number 33. Del Greco, and our season's underway. This is Epps, and he elects to bring it out. 25, 30, and he's out to the 37. And now, let's set offensively Texas. First, taking a look at the backfield. Rob Morshell getting his first start ever for the Texas Longhorns. He threw only one pass last year.
There he is, Rob Morshell. This is an opportunity for him, and John Walker, he's a man that they say has potential.
Ronnie Robinson, they're looking forward to seeing what he can do. He's carried the ball only once in his collegiate career. Up front, we mentioned Dotson.
And Ruther, Mike Ruther, the center.
38-yard return. So at the 38-yard line, Texas will set it up. Morshell getting off to Walker. John Walker out to the 43-yard line. Defensively now, let's take a look at defensively their line, and this may be as fine a defensive line as you're ever going to see this season.
They have tremendous depth here. Doug Smith, number 99, is the most outstanding, maybe the most outstanding defensive lineman in the country.
Greg Carr was the Southeastern Conference Lineman of the Week for his play against Southern Mississippi.
A lot of team speed there in the defensive backs.
Second down, 6. Morshell, way short for Walker. That play, Pat, just didn't look right.
Well, you mentioned Morshell only threw one pass all season, and it was an interesting throw, a short type of pass. Again, trying to gather his confidence. This is what Fred Akers wants to do. Start him slowly on passes like that. It was just a poor throw.
Morshell played in Dallas. He followed Lance McElhaney at that high school, who now, of course, is a quarterback at SMU. His college coach felt that Morshell had as much, if not more, potential. 3rd and 6. Walker, check that, Robinson, and he's going nowhere. Doug Smith, one of those men you mentioned up front, number 99 was there, and Texas is going to have to kick the football.
Perhaps we see a little bit what Fred Akers is going to do here early with Rob Morshell. Conservative game plan, short passes, and off-tackle runs.
John Kelchik, number 22, a sophomore from Kerrville, Texas. He was a punter a year ago. Will kick to this man, the leading punt returner a year ago, Lionel James. That barefoot kick, a little low and short. James is going to let it hit, and Texas will down the ball at the 20-yard line. That was a 38-yard kick that time by Kelchik. And now, offensively for Auburn, Randy Campbell.
He's the quarterback. He is a role player.
Chris Woods, they want to go deep to him today. to challenge that secondary. Up front,
David Jordan, the left guard, number 74, is the man to watch. All SEC last year.
and Ed West. He's going to have quite a battle at that tight end spot with Eric Hawley of Texas. At the 20, Auburn, their first series. In right now is Jeff Parks, so they may be coming into a double tight end alignment on this first play. We'll see a lot of changes. This wishbone is run differently. Campbell on the pitch to James, and James for a yard. Defensively now, Texas, as we said, had 8 returning starters, and up front, well, Fred Akers feels it's the finest he's seen in a long, long time. They're big, they're strong, and they are experienced.
And when you start up front, you start with number 93, Eric Hawley. He's got his work cut out for him today.
The linebackers, a little change. Ty Allard is starting in place of June James. And Cade.
That's where maybe won or lost. Tremendous speed in that backfield as well.
Second down, 9 for the Tigers. Campbell on the option, throwing wide open is Ed West. And West has a first down at the 43. 23-yard play.
We told you their wishbone was a little different. It's 2nd and 10. Here they're going to come out, fake the dive. Randy Campbell right there to the tight end, Ed West. They lined up in a double tight situation, made it look like run. Ed West, as you can see, was wide open. Here it is. Play action fake really draws everybody up. You see the defensive corner running up to support. Ed West slips right in behind him. The ball is well thrown. Big play early in the first quarter.
Pat Dye says West is the most underrated receiver in the Southeastern Conference. 23-yard pickup, first down. Campbell wants to throw again. Buford, Clayton Buford, the intended receiver. Defending very effectively was Mossy Cade, the man that we labeled as being a key to this game.
Again, and we mentioned on the top, this is where it's going to be win or lost, right here in the passing. Top of your screen, number 11, Clayton Buford was a quarterback when he came in. He's now a wide receiver. He comes right across the screen. You can see number 3, Mossy Cade, is not even in the picture, so he's got the ball is delivered late. Had it been a little earlier, Clayton Buford would not have been hit here by Mossy Cade when the ball arrived.
Mossy Cade out of Eloy, Arizona. He has a brother that plays running back at Arizona State. Fred Akers, his 7th year, a man who coached at Wyoming, an assistant at Texas. Bo Jackson. Jackson struggles across the 45. It'll bring up a 3rd down for Auburn. Mark Lane made the stop. We have been informed that we have temporarily lost our video picture, but we'll be back with that just as soon as possible. We'll continue with the audio portion of this game, so please stay with us.
Well, you've done radio before.
That's right. 3rd down, 8 for Auburn, operating just across their own 45-yard line. No score. First series for the Tigers. Campbell is back to throw. He's going for Buford, but they have a mix-up in the secondary. Buford cutting up short, the ball overthrown, and it's going to be a kicking situation for Auburn. Fred Acorn defending for the Texas Longhorns. And coming in to do the kicking will be Lewis Colbert, a junior out of Phoenix City, Alabama, nearby Auburn. Colbert, last year the punter, averaged 38.2.
Interesting first series by Auburn. Even though they're a wishbone team, they did not run a triple option that first series.
Jitter Fields is back deep to receive the punt from Colbert. Fields replacing Morshell since he started the quarterback. Big rush, but he hammers it. And having trouble is Fields. He retrieves it out across the 15 to the 20. He's got a block, and he's out to the 32, and we have a couple of flags. We may have a clipping call. A 27-yard return, but Colbert with a 48-yard punt. So Fields having trouble, but it proved to help him out. He got the defensive people past him and then moved up the field.
How many times have we seen when a punt receiver's back here fumbles the ball, somehow the coverage runs right past the punt receiver? This is exactly what happens here. Number 25, Jitter Fields, right there, drops the ball. The Auburn defenders begin to look for the ball, trying to recover it. By that time, Fields has picked it up, breaks a couple of tackles. He's spinning, he's churning, picks up a block there, and now he's out in the open. The saving tackle by number 49, Nat Caesar, right there. There was the clip. You saw the clip right there on 49, Nat Caesar.
And coming up with that clip was Mark Petkovich. So the penalty will move the ball back inside the 20-yard line. We have no score at Jordan-Hare Stadium. Texas against Auburn, a game of national importance. 12 on defense. This is a junior, though. Rob Morshell, his first starting job from the 16, first down. John Walker bounces off. And he's across the 20 to the 22. Tommy Powell made the stop. Pat Dye, who seems to be the perfect man for the moment as far as Auburn is concerned, an assistant coach under Paul Bear Bryant for 9 years. On the other side, doing battle with him, Fred Akers. Both these men had stints at Wyoming. And Fred Akers trying to win the Southwestern Conference title that's gotten away from him the last 5 years. From the 22, second down 4 for Texas. To Walker again. Walker is going to be short, it appears, of the first down. John Walker, a man of immense potential, but never has really gotten to the point where the staff thought he should be.
Well, Gary, you're right. The United Nations has potential, too. It's time for John Walker really to kind of step forward and play. He's come in for 4 years, and they've expected an awful lot from him.
John Walker at one time high jumped 7 feet. One time in practice 7'1". And this shows you the territory they've got to move through. The measurement indicating they are a little bit short. The ball resting just across the 25-yard line. Mike Luck now has come into the backfield. Some changes. Also, Alvin Jenkins. They're going to have 2 tight ends in on the short yardage play of third down a yard.
Strength against strength here.
Duhan and Bryant will come out. So they bring the wide receivers out, bring in another running back and a tight end. 3rd and 1. And Morshell easily gets it. That may give Morshell some confidence. Picking up their initial first down at the 10:41 mark of this first quarter. The Longhorn Band. From the 28, Duhan will be split out to the bottom of the screen. Bryant to the top. And that time, Walker is hit the moment he receives the football. Make that Ronnie Robinson the fullback. Ben Thomas, number 91. A high five for this man.
There's Ben Thomas. A look from the end zone. It faked the pitch, but right to the number 49, Ronnie Robinson. There is nowhere to go as 91, Ben Thomas, is there to put the stop on.
That's part of that defensive line. Now, Thomas is not even a starter. That shows you the depth that Auburn has. He's out of there now. Donnie Humphrey has come in to replace him. Second down, 10. Walker across the 30 to the 33. Jeff Jackson, Gerald Robinson combining on the stop for the Tigers. And it's going to move to a 3rd down now, and still 6.
As good as Texas' offensive line is with Ruther and Dawson, Gary, Texas is still going to have to throw the ball to win this football game. Auburn is just too tough up front.
The trenches, both sides feel that there's going to be more or less a standoff. We'll wait to see. A 3rd down, a long 5. Morshell, and the pass is caught by Bryant. Bill Boy Bryant out of Dublin, Texas, a 15-yard completion.
When you're a quarterback getting your first opportunity, what do you want to do? You want to get a completion early in the game. You're going to see the skill of Rob Morshell as he sprints out to his right. Good call. Delivers the ball beautifully. So Bill Boy Bryant keeps his foot in bounds for the first down. An isolated look at number 80, Bill Boy Bryant. Again, a lot of room. You don't see the defensive back there. That's number 27, David King, was a pretty good player. He has some respect for Bryant. Again, the ball well thrown away from David King, the defender.
A 15-yard completion to the 49. Morshell looks like a busted play. And he is busted. Oh, is he hit. Welcome to Auburn, Alabama. That is football Southern style. Morshell will not do that very often. Second down, he picked up maybe 2, but that's not the kind of offense Fred Akers is interested in. Mike Luck comes back into the Texas backfield. They want to throw to Luck. They feel he's a rugged receiver, not a blazer, but a tough runner. In motion is Luck. Morshell in trouble again. A little quarterback draw, and he's up to the 40, and that'll be a first down. That was a called play, and Morshell disguised it very well. First down, Texas.
We're watching Fred Akers take advantage of the ability of Rob Morshell. We've seen him sprint out to throw the football, but there we saw a quarterback draw. His skill is running the football.
At the 40-yard line, Texas, a sustained drive. 8 minutes left in this first quarter. No score. Bryant will come to the bottom of the screen. Duhan split to the top. This drive starting on the Texas 16. Morshell straight ahead. Ronnie Robinson. Tommy Powell, a sophomore, strong safety, making the stop for Auburn. The secondary of Auburn had only one starter returning, but they feel Powell is a good one.
4-yard gain. 2nd and 6 at the Auburn 36.
Indiana, who is 1-0 under Sam White, the new coach, leading Kentucky, who is 2-0. This is the 10th play of this drive. Second down, 6. Terry Orr in the backfield now. Morshell on the keeper. And you see how many blue shirts are on that play. That is characteristic of Auburn defense. Harold Holman, a backup nose guard, number 94. Gerald Williams, 98, from Valley, Alabama, another sophomore. They have the depth, and now Ben Thomas coming off, limping a little bit, as Donnie Humphrey will replace him.
3rd and 2 at the 32.
Third down, 3 yards to go. Morshell to Walker. He's got it. Walker out of Killeen, Texas.
3rd and 3 situation. We're looking at it from the end zone. The interesting thing here is they go left away from Doug Dawson and Mike Ruther, right over McJurkin and Smith. The ball given deep to Walker in the eye, eludes the defender there, and spins for the first down.
A very impressive drive. Rob Morshell has to be getting confidence. They've moved this from their 16 now to the 28 of Auburn. Bryant, Duhan split out. Morshell to Luck. And he's wrapped up after a 2-yard pickup by Jeff Jackson, number 42. Last year a defensive end, this year a linebacker. Luck on the depth early was not really a factor in this game, but as they approached the game, Fred Akers wanted his dependability, his ruggedness, because he knows Auburn will hit you.
Well, again, when you're starting with a young quarterback, you want to have as many stable people around him as he can. Mike Luck is one of those kind of players.
2nd and 8. Morshell. Orr is all down to the 6-yard line before he's rammed out. 20-yard pickup on the play. Robinson and Caesar make the stop. 1st and goal, Texas.
You're watching the maturity of Rob Morshell as he's beginning to feel much more comfortable. You see him fake to Mike Luck. Gets a nice block by Kirk Junkin and delivers the ball to 37, Terry Orr, all the way down to the 6-yard line. A very nice throw by Rob Morshell. Another ground level look. Again, the fake holds 54. Greg Carr, the linebacker. He steps up into the pocket using that mobility of his and delivers the ball nicely.
Terry Orr, you might recall, beat Alabama. A touchdown in the Cotton Bowl. Now 1st and goal. A give, and Luck that time almost didn't get the exchange made. Inside the 5 to the 3. A little bit of leaning that time between Morshell and Luck. Gerald Robinson, 95, making the stop for Auburn. It'll be 2nd and goal just outside the 3-yard line. 14 19th play now on this drive. Sustained football with 4:15 left in the first quarter. Morshell giving off to Robinson. Robinson is very close as the end. We're waiting, and evidently he is short. Very close. It'll be at least 5 inches to go. Greg Carr, Doug Outman making the stop for Auburn. And here they go on a 3rd down. 3rd and goal. Thus far, our statistician Mike Swanson indicates that Texas has been able to convert all of their 3rd down conversions. And here's a big one. Morshell. Still no indication. Auburn is held. It's 4th down. No, wait a minute. Now they're signaling touchdown. Oh, was that a late call?
Late or not, Fred Akers will take it.
So Texas, with Morshell taking it in with a 6-0 lead at the 3:20 mark. Jeff Ward, a freshman out of Boston, his first attempt of his collegiate career, and Ward is through the middle. So Texas with a very impressive drive of 84 yards. The Longhorns showing why they've been picked. One of the top, if not the top team in the country. We'll be back at Jordan-Hare Stadium with 3:20 to go in this first quarter. Texas 7, Auburn nothing, 3:20 first quarter. Telchik, number 22, will kick off to Bo Jackson, 34. It's going to be considerably short. Jackson at the 9. 25. Jackson close to the 30. We want to go back on that last play and try to figure out when the touchdown was scored.
Well, it's 3rd and very, very short. Rob Morshell, the quarterback, is just going to go right over center. Mike Ruther, you obviously can't tell anything there. The official called it very, very late. It was very short, but he did call the touchdown.
He had to get everybody off of him before he could designate one way or the other. But it's 7-0, the Longhorns. Look at that, almost 8 minutes on that drive. 84 yards. That's impressive. From the 29, Randy Campbell, the quarterback. Lionel James. He gets an opening and doesn't stay there very long. Jerry Gray, the free safety, who will be making a lot of tackles in on that one. 2nd down coming up. I think it's 6 to go.
You mentioned Texas touchdown drive as being impressive. It's surprising to me, Gary. They matched up against the strength of Auburn's defense. We talked about Auburn's front 7 being so tough, but Texas stuffed it down the throats with off-tackle plays and mixed in a couple of passes.
The ball just short of the 34. 2nd down, a long 5. Campbell, he's keeping. And he is nailed for a yard, and that's all. Eric Hawley, number 93 out of Austin, made the stop. Next Saturday, Pat and I and our CBS crew will be going to the Orange Bowl and Notre Dame, trying to wake up the echoes as they'll play Miami of Florida. That will be a game at 9 o'clock Eastern. And the way those Fighting Irish are rolling.
Jerry Faustin has them going this year.
Yes, sir. 3rd down, 4. Buford and Woods, 2 wide outs. Pat, we expect him to go deep in this game. Campbell intended to the far side. Buford incomplete. We ought to get back to that. One of the game plans to Pat Dye is to get the ball deep and to either get the completion or a pass interference.
They feel the way that Texas plays defense on the corners with Acorn and Cade that Auburn can throw the ball deep. They want to do it at least 10 times. There's one of the burners right there. Clayton Buford. Between he and Chris Woods, the split ends. They want to try to throw the ball to them 10 times downfield.
Colbert, who had a 48-yard kick the last time. And back deep is Jitter Fields. And he has another fine kick. Fields from the 12. Fields with an alley. To the 40. The 50. Down to the 40. To the 25 of Auburn. Jonathan Robinson drops him there. What a return for Jitter Fields, a senior from Dallas. A 66-yard return after a 54-yard punt.
Jitter Fields has been the story so far. He returned that kickoff a little earlier for a big gain, and now he's going to get a punt here. Jitter Fields, his second punt return, long punt return. He waits for his blocking to set up. He picks up a couple of blocks right there, then just turns on the juice after he breaks a tackle. A nice cutback. He has been the difference here.
And remember, Pat, he has not been the punt returner. It's been Morshell, and Fields getting the job. We have a new quarterback, I believe. Rick McIver has come in. McIver handing off to Michael Brown. So after that drive by Morshell, he's going to give his other quarterback, Rick McIver, a chance. McIver, as you probably very well know, was out last year due to a knee injury, scholastic difficulties. He's waited a long time to get back out and play for Texas.
Another opportunity for him, too.
Second down, 7 from the 20. McIver as opposed to Morshell.
Strong drop back thrower. 6'4", he's got a very live arm.
From the 20, we have less than a minute to go in this first quarter play. This is Brown again. He's going nowhere. Michael Brown, a senior from Dallas. Jim Bone, a junior. Number 51 from Columbus, Georgia, making the tackle, and there's the time remaining in the first quarter. No gain. It'll be third down, still 7. Duhan split to the top. Here comes Bryant to the bottom from the 20. McIver wanting to throw over the top, intended for Duhan, and very nicely defended by David King. David King is the man they probably shouldn't pick on. He's the veteran back there. See the tape on Duhan. He has a cracked bone in his little finger, just below the finger. He says it doesn't bother him, but I would think a wide receiver would prefer not to have it.
Here it is. He hit a helmet during the scrimmage a week or so ago.
So Jeff Ward will attempt the first field goal of his college career, and this is going to be a 37-yard attempt. Morshell will hold. And what a start for this freshman. Jeff Ward, his first attempt. And Ward has made it a 10-0 game with 6 seconds to go in this first quarter. So the Texas Longhorns, everybody wondered how quickly they could start out. Well, looks like they've played midseason form. For Texas, 10-0 the Longhorns. Bo Jackson back deep for Auburn, but they may kick this one over and will. It's out of bounds. Pat, interestingly enough, one thing that really impressed Fred Akers was the special teams play of Auburn, but it's deserted me here early.
He said Auburn special teams last week against Southern Mississippi was the best special team play he's seen in an opening game ever. And yet their special teams, Texas special teams, come out and made some big plays. Jitter Fields has been 2 long punt returns. There he is, number 25, right on the bench. Jitter Fields.
Well, he got over the jitters after fumbling that one earlier. Then he comes back, goes 66 yards to set up the last field goal.
But doesn't it always seem like when a guy fumbles a punt that he picks it up and everybody overruns it and returns it for a long one?
You lull him into something. And so Auburn now will receive this kick again as they back up 5 yards with the penalty to the 35. You see the time left in the first quarter. Bo Jackson, they're waiting his return to the safety spot. Pelchik, again, not very long. Bo Jackson. Fine return out to the 33-yard line. Chris Tulipon for Texas there to make the tackle. Auburn has played 15 minutes at home against this Texas team, and they find themselves down by 10. The Tigers would like to get their offense rolling in quarter number 2. they want to do, Pat. They've had the ball only 8 plays in the first quarter.
And what Pat Dye really wanted to do was get Bo Jackson out on the corner, on the perimeter. They've yet to do that.
And so as an end result, they trailed 10-0. They've had the ball 4 minutes. Texas almost 11 minutes in the first quarter.
You know, I didn't think they could grind it out, Texas, like they have.
Tim Jesse has come in at running back along with James. So Jackson getting a breather for Auburn. The ball at the 33. And James across the 35 to the 36. There's been nothing but very vanilla thus far for Auburn. They have not really opened up. Pat Dye told us they'd like to throw the ball, what, deep 10 times?
Deep 10 times. He was going to bring double tight ends, unbalanced lines, do a lot of shifting. We haven't seen much of that yet, but when you're down 10-0, sometimes you have a tendency to play a little bit closer.
Tommy Carroll is split out. Jesse, James, one name, but Jesse and James in the backfield. Campbell to the 40. Still going to be 4 yards short of the first down.
Well, you'd rather have Randy Campbell carry the ball than this young man, number 34, Vincent Bo Jackson.
They try to make the similarities with Jackson and Herschel Walker. He does not want to be compared to Herschel. Same numbers, same build, and this is the thing we mentioned earlier. Only 8 plays by Auburn in that first quarter.
Again, surprising the way that Texas has dominated the line of scrimmage.
Third down, a long 3 for the Auburn Tigers. Campbell, straight ahead, Tommy Agee, and that's the first down they may need. Tommy Agee, they're very high on him, a sophomore from Maplesville, Alabama. He is the guy that's trying to fill the shoes of Greg Pratt, a young man who suffered a cardiac arrest on August 20th, passed away. As an end result, the team wearing Greg Pratt's number on their helmet. It's number 36. See it on the left part of the helmet, behind the chin strap there, on 78, Steve Wallace. Well, the first down made, and that may be what Auburn needs as they start this second quarter. Their first third down conversion has been successful. Buford, Woods, split out. Jackson back in with James. Campbell to throw. Here's the deep pass to Woods. He got it. What a catch. Oh, wait a minute. They're ruling the interception by Jerry Gray. Oh, what a play by Gray. They did not throw that short, Pat, like they were intending to.
Texas defense is playing a little bit different. They expected bump and run on the top of the screen. You see number 1, Chris Woods. There's nobody on top in bump and run. There's number 3, Mossy Cade. Number 2, Jerry Gray, the free safety, is not fooled. He's running stride for stride with Woods, who has excellent speed. Then you're going to see a phenomenal catch by Jerry Gray. A one-handed stab, bounces off his helmet, and secures a football.
What a play by Gray. I thought Woods had it for a while. But now Texas has the ball at the 10. Athletes.
Remarkable interception there. You want to put him on offense after some catches like that.
So the ball now resting inside the 10. Texas has McIver back in at quarterback. Terry Orr along with John Walker in the backfield. Epps split to the bottom of the screen. Shivers, right ahead handoff to Walker. Greg Carr on the tackle for Auburn. Auburn right now reeling. They're down 10-0. They've just thrown an interception. They'd like to hold them here and get some field position. North Carolina against Miami of Ohio. That's Dick Crum's old school.
Scott Stankoff, the quarterback, stepped in and played very well for them this year. They've got something to cheer about.
Got those cowbells going, don't they? Hook 'em horns. And now from the 13.5, it's second down 6, Texas. And McIver wants a timeout. McIver saw something. He asked for the timeout. That's the first used by either team in this game with 12:34 to go. First half, 10-0 Texas.
Bigger.
It's a hush crowd, a stunned crowd here at Jordan-Hare Stadium. Auburn trailing 10-0. Texas with a football. McIver to John Walker. And Walker out to the 20-yard line. Very close, if not a first down. Adam Schreiber threw a key block.
Made by number 31, Victor Beasley.
Gary, we have talked a little bit about the offensive line. There's the right side of it. Number 66 is the All-American candidate, Doug Dawson. You're going to see him pulling around here, put a nice block on number 90, Kevin Green. A beautiful block there. Picks up another block by Adam Schreiber, creates a hole for John Walker for 6 yards.
Adam Schreiber signed a letter of intent with Auburn. He lived in this area, Huntsville, and now playing for Texas. Taking it out on his former state teammates. Walker with 34 yards now on 7 carries. It was a first down measurement, and Pat Dye has a look of concern. An All-American under Wally Butts at Georgia. Is a co-captain with Fran Tarkenton on that team.
He made Fran the scrambler that he became.
Lucanor in the backfield. McIver on the play action. It's caught. He's going to stroll in if King doesn't catch him, and he can't. Touchdown. This man had a 51-yard touchdown catch in a scrimmage last Friday. Epps, this time he goes 80 yards. He got away from Chuck Clanton, and then King could not catch him. A diving attempt inside the 10. And we have a 16-0 game. And this crowd is stunned. Jeff Ward, point after. It's 17-0, Texas.
We're going to have another look at it. We've talked about how Rick McIver's a hoss and a half, and you're going to get a chance to see that as he play-action fakes. So he's got the shot arm. He's 6'4", and he's got pressure in his face by number 90, Kevin Green. The ball is a little underthrown. There's some more athleticism by the Texas people. Number 40, Kevin Epps, makes a catch. Chuck Clayton can't catch him, and he runs right into the end zone.
Brett Akers hoped he had a big play man to replace Herky Walls. He may have found him in number 40. In a hurry. This time Jeff Ward will kick off instead of Pelchik, and that ball is touched and goes out of bounds, and Auburn will have to play it from there. Things are not going well for the Tigers. Let's go back to that touchdown catch.
We talk about how these Texas athletes are known to have some great skill and ability. And here's one more look at it. Kelvin Elps, number 40, leaps up, pulls the ball away from the defender Clanton, spins and turns, and in for 6 points.
He's the fastest wide receiver, and it's a good thing because King could not catch him. And now Frank Orgel, the defensive coordinator for Auburn, is trying to get something going.
Well, he was pretty well covered. It was just a very good offensive play.
90 yards in 3 plays. First down, the ball at the 7-yard line. Campbell to James. And white shirts everywhere. Mike Buchanan, a senior from St. Louis, was out there. James had no place to go. In fact, he may have lost some yardage on the play. Well, Pat, the big question is, what do you do now? You're down 17-0. Do you go away from your game plan?
I think they're going to have to throw the ball somewhere effectively. I think they're being surprised by Texas' defensive scheme. They expected Texas defensive backs to play more bump and run to allow them to throw the ball deep. They're not getting that right now.
Second down, 10 yards to go for Auburn. James trying to break out of there. Good leg drive. Lionel James, remembers, only 5'7", 170, but he was carrying with him Ray Woodward for a while.
Gary, I think it's also a little early to get away from the game plan when you have people like number 6 there, Lionel James, the senior, who's going to step forward. He's a leader. These guys just need the ball in the open field. Lionel James and Bo Jackson, they can get 6 points for you right away.
Third down, 3, and it looks longer than that, doesn't it? They've got to come all the way this end to get back into this football game. Campbell on a 3rd and 3 option. And that's not going to be enough. Pat, we're very proud here at CBS Sports to announce our continued association with the Chevrolet Scholarship Program. As we did last year, Pat and I will be selecting a Chevrolet Most Valuable Player from each team as part of every 1983 NCAA football telecast. And Chevrolet will honor these selections by donating $1,000 to each college general scholarship fund to advance the educations of deserving students in their chosen fields. Colbert, who's kicked extremely well in the first 2 times, has a pressure kick to go to this man, Jeter Fields. Really bobbled that, didn't he? And the short kick, this time moving it to the 47. That was Michael Phelps, who received a 37-yard kick. That shows you Texas has shown the ability to have a sustained drive and to strike in a hurry.
Well, Auburn's offense has put Auburn's defense in a tough position. Auburn's offense has not done much with the ball when they've had it.
The scoreboard indicating a difference in this game and the total yardage. Texas dominating. Morshell back in at quarterback. Davis Byerly now is in for the first time. And this is Anthony Byerly, one of the most sought-after players in the state of Texas a year ago. Pat Thomas on the tackle, and now Miami of Ohio has scored. Still Kentucky 3-0. The ball at the 48. 2nd down, 8 for Texas. 9 minutes to go, first half. Russell Hayes now in. He split out at the top. Bill Boy Bryant at the bottom. Morshell with the fake. Oh, what a catch. Coming up with that was Alvin Jenkins, a senior from Abilene, Texas, a backup tight end, 16 yards.
There was a question mark about how well Rob Morshell could throw the ball. That question's been answered here in the first half. You're going to see him play action fake, sprint out, this time to his left, get his shoulders turned, and deliver the ball to his backup tight end, number 81, Alvin Jenkins.
They just keep bringing these players at you. You haven't heard a lot about Jenkins. No catches a year ago. He's a senior. Morshell to Davis. Donnie Humphrey makes the stop for Auburn. Fred Akers, he said, we love these kind of games. We like the challenge. We get up for it, and they are ready. Auburn, they're restructuring things. They're trying to regroup.
They're going to have to do something here. This latter stages of the second quarter. They can't let Texas score again here, a touchdown.
2nd and 6 for the Longhorns. Hayes will split out again, and Kelvin Epps, who caught that 80-yarder, is at the bottom of the screen. It's going to be a reverse, a fake reverse. Here's Byerly. Epps was coming back. They faked that handoff. Byerly kept, and he made very little on that. Bo Jackson hasn't had an awful lot of opportunity. He did have one fine kickoff return.
He's going to have to touch the ball a lot more in the second half.
It'll be 3rd down, 6 for Texas. That offensive line for Texas is doing a job. Morshell. And Jim Bone missed him, but help is there. Oh, as he pounded out of bounds. That was Hallman, number 94, that eventually just really knocked him head over heels over there. But Bone missed him on the first tackle. But it's going to bring up a 4th down. They'll have to kick. They're going to try a field goal, and this is going to be a long one. 53, 54 yards. They got a lot of confidence in this freshman, but Texas first asks for a timeout. Already, Ward has kicked one of 37 yards. Texas has one timeout remaining in this first half. They lead it 17-0. 6:43 left in the first half. Notre Dame, Miami will be there, but right now it's Jordan Hare Alabama trailing, should say Auburn, Alabama trailing 17-0, and they may be down by more, as they were going to have Jeff Ward attempt a 53-yard field goal, but I believe they've changed their mind. They may punt now. During that timeout, Texas elects not to put the pressure on the freshman, and Telchik will come in. There's the time remaining, 6:43 in this first half. I'm Gary Bender along with Pat Hayden. Glad to be back in our second season of NCAA football. Nobody back deep to receive this punt. They're going to let this clock expire, the 25-second clock, and that way they'll have better position for the punter. He'll have more room to work with. Telchik the last time booted 138 yards. It's expired. It'll be a 5-yard penalty.
Delay of game against the offense. Still fourth down.
Now Lionel James will go back for this punt. The line of scrimmage, the 41 of Auburn.
I think it's a good decision by Fred Akers to punt here rather than to kick the field goal. Their defense is playing so well. If they can hold Auburn's offense, again, they're going to get good field position.
And Jeff Ward has started out so well. He has confidence. Why play around with that? Telchik kicking from his own 45. James signaling for the fair catch, lets it hit, and it makes it in for the touchback. Well, we have some outstanding football action coming your way tomorrow on CBS. Many of you, including our New York area viewers, will see an NFL doubleheader. First in what should be quite a game, the Rams, John Robinson, against the Packers, followed by an important Eastern Division showdown between the Giants and the Cowboys. Other regional action, all starting now with the NFL Today. That's 12:30 Eastern. Be sure to check your local listing. How about John Robinson, former USC guy? He's off to a great start.
I'm remarkably surprised when Rams can win without them.
From the 20-yard line. First down after the touchback. Auburn, uphill battle now. AG the fullback. Georgia, Clemson. Remember the game a year ago? Well, they're in the second quarter this one, and no one has scored. Jerry Claiborne. His Kentucky Wildcats have tied it up. At halftime, Brandon Era will have scores and highlights of other games. And Boom Boom Mancini will be in the studio. A live interview. What a fight. Second down and 8. Campbell wanting to throw. It's broken up. Someone got a hand on it. Ed West, the intended receiver. Thus far, Campbell is 1 of 6 for 23 yards, 1 interception. He's the man that they say doesn't have that much ability, but he just gets the job done. He gets the ball to James and Jackson.
The 1 of 6 tells the story, Gary. Jack Crow, Auburn's offensive coordinator, said they had to throw the ball effectively and efficiently against Texas to win the football game. They certainly have not done that here in the first half.
And we were impressed by Campbell's throwing this week. 3rd and 8. The protection is there, and he overthrew Buford. And Auburn will kick again at the 5:49 mark. Buford was open. Randy Campbell from Hartsville, Alabama. Not pleased, I'm sure, with that last pass. Colbert, one of the bright spots for Auburn. He's averaging 46.3. He'll kick for the Tigers. And he hits it very high. Jitter Fields. And Fields to the 39. 6-yard return, a 45-yard kick. Robinson, Jonathan Robinson on the tackle. 5:36 left in the first half. Texas by 17. The Lone Star State of Texas. They're proud of their Longhorns right now. And the story right now has to be these big guys. The offensive line for Texas. They have dominated.
They really dominated a very good defensive front in Auburn. It's been surprising.
Walker and Robinson, the running backs. Here's John Walker. He'll get a couple. Jeff Jackson made the tackle.
You mentioned that there were some question marks about Texas' offense coming into that football game. This first half, a lot of those have been answered. We've seen Rob Morshell throw the ball effectively. MacGyver came in. We said he was going to play it through a long touchdown pass. That offensive line has played very, very effectively. And the special teams. That's right. Special teams are always essential to win a football game.
But I don't think a lot of people felt any line to dominate Auburn up front, but they are. That's one of the big strengths of this Tiger team. The pitch to Walker on a 2nd and 6. Oh, is he pelted by King? David King. David King, who performs in the Auburn Dance Theater, danced up there that time and really put one on him.
You want to talk about hitting, maybe the defense led by David King is going to bring him back. Here's a look at John Walker on the sweep. He's going to pick up a nice block by his fullback, number 49, Ronnie Robinson. But there's 27, David King. He puts a dance right on John Walker.
Very articulate young man. David King from Fairhope, Alabama. 3rd down, a yard. Boy, Auburn would like to hold here. Chapman in motion. Pitch to Robinson, the freshman, and he's got the first down on a good second effort. Edward Simmons. Simmons running wide. He's the freshman from Hawkins, Texas, who everyone is starting to say might be the biggest recruit at Texas since Earl Campbell.
Well, it's been remarkable to me the last 3 or 4 years in college football how freshman running backs have made such an impact. Herschel Walker, Bo Jackson, Marcus Dupree. This young man, Edwin Simmons, might be the next one.
At 6'4", I don't know very many running backs at that height. And he may be the fastest player they have. Remarkable statistics in high school. Here he goes again. Simmons to the 40. Inside the 40 to the 39. Now that will shock some people. Penn State still looking for their first win. Iowa annihilated Iowa State last week.
Iowa's a very good football team.
To get back to Simmons, his progress was slowed in this preseason due to a knee difficulty. They found out one leg was longer than the other, and it agitated his knee. But he's back now.
You mentioned his name, Fred Akers smiled, didn't he?
And he sure does. 2nd and 2. This time it's Robinson. First down. Matt Caesar making the stop. And Pat, you saw how much running room on that play that offensive line gave Robinson. First down for the Longhorns at the 32 of Auburn. 2:51 to go. First half. 17-0. Texas. Robinson again. Robinson was another man that brought a smile to Fred Akers' face. He said he's looked so good, we want to see if he's for real, and he has looked for real.
Gary, in Auburn's defensive scheme, they're one of their linebackers, Greg Carr, number 54. He is supposed to make an awful lot of tackles. You see him right there in the middle of your screen, number 54. Now, he's going to get blocked right here. He gets blocked out of the play, and that's one of the reasons the fullback, Ronnie Robinson's had some room to run.
Greg Carr last week had 15 tackles against Southern Mississippi. Texas 104 yards on the ground. Auburn 30. Here's Simmons again. Simmons to the 21-yard line. Texas has shown us the ability to run at you and go over the top. At halftime, we'll be going back to New York and be joining that former coach of Notre Dame, Ara Parsegian, along with Brent Musburger, Boom Boom Mancini, and what a story, Todd Hart out of Long Beach State. A remarkable recovery, and we'll tell you about that at halftime. Texas first down. Everything this man has been sending in, Fred Akers is working. Some of those 800 mums that they had planted today. Isn't this a beautiful place? They've resurfaced this grass area. This is some sight for college football.
The people here have been looking forward to this day for a long time. Nice people.
Texas, 11 first downs. Auburn with 2. Those statistics very imposing. Bryant in motion. Pitch to Simmons. To the 19. That's Carr, the man you isolated on earlier. 54, making the tackle.
Down number 54, Greg Carr.
Finnegan, here is a field level look at some of the hitting that's gone out there. We talked about how this offensive line of Texas has dominated, how they've crunched. There's a fullback 49 putting a real steamer block on somebody there, and you see Edwin Simmons twisting and turning for a short gain.
This drive starting at the 39, now at the Auburn 19, with a minute to go in the first half. Morshell. Card drops him as he has to get rid of it. He put that up in the mums. Bill Boy Bryant, the closest to the ball. And that'll stop the clock with 51 seconds. Bill Boy Bryant, as you look at Georgia now on the scoreboard. Georgia Tech, who played Alabama very effectively in that first game, and North Carolina now has bumped it up to a 14-3 lead. Bryant, number 80, we got to be sure we say Bill Boy. He wants the boy in there. It was omitted from some of the Texas releases, and he wrote a nice, polite letter to the Sports Information Department, and they have included Bill Boy in everything that comes out of Texas and Austin.
Sounds like he belongs to Texas.
3rd and 8. Simmons. Simmons, big, strong freshman to the 14. Jackson with the tackle. So it's 4th down, 3. With 34 seconds, you expect to see Jeff Ward, and here he comes. Ward with a 37-yard three-pointer earlier. They're going to let it run down a little bit and use their last timeout. This young man is a walk-on. His father is an NFL official. His dad's name is Ed. He kicked a 65-yard field goal in practice. And his debut here has been impressive, and Texas now letting the clock run down as over to the far side, Ward will go over. Auburn has asked for the timeout. Auburn asking for it. They have 2 left.
They want Ward to think about it a little bit.
I don't think the way he's kicking, he's too much bothered by that.
Well, there's not quite as much pressure when you're ahead 17-0 even.
David King visiting on the near side for Auburn. Next Saturday, we'll have some late afternoon regional games coming your way on CBS. And then that night from the Orange Bowl, and they're excited down there in Miami, the Canes against the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame.
Notre Dame's got Michigan State today. Miami plays Purdue.
Find out a little more, because Purdue, of course, had a tough afternoon against Notre Dame.
Is Notre Dame that good? We'll find out.
Yes, we will. This will be a 32-yard field goal attempt by Ward. Boy, he's got it up in a hurry, and he hit it. He gets the ball up.
Tremendous height.
A 20-0 lead now by the Texas Longhorns. Ward with a 37 and now a 32-yard field goal, and Fred Akers has found a field goal kicker. Well, Texas came in here. They had not played a game. They had lost their starting quarterback, their tight end, one of their outstanding linebackers. But somebody forgot to tell other people that they have other people just waiting for a chance to play for Texas.
Well, there's Pat Dow. He's going to have to say something to his team here at halftime. There are 3 touchdowns down. They can score 3 and still get back in this ballgame. Now, that's a tough road to hoe against Texas defense, the way they've been playing. But again, we remember they have big play players: Bo Jackson, Lionel James. And if Randy Campbell can get the ball downfield to one of those receivers, we hope to see a more interesting second half.
Ward will kick off. Bo Jackson back deep for Auburn. 17 seconds left in the first half. Bouncing around, Allen Evans, 33, picks it up for the Tigers. He'll bring it out across the 15-yard line, and with 12 seconds left, Auburn doesn't have a lot of time to do anything. Later today now, we'll be bringing you an outstanding fight. Boom Boom Mancini against Orlando Romero. That was Thursday night, and Boom Boom will be in the studio with Brent Musburger at halftime to talk about that. And then following that, we'll have a live fight, a 10-round fight coming up. So that immediately follows our game today. And now everybody split out. They're going to what they call the victory offense. They'll try to throw it down to the other quarterback. This is Washington throwing deep. to Buford, and incomplete. The victory offense has been called the Big Ben play. It's been called a lot of things. Auburn puts a new twist on it. They bring in another quarterback. So one quarterback throws to the other. This is the new quarterback, Pat Washington, who came in.
It's an interesting concept, Gary, because we saw them practice this the other day in practice. I have not seen a team work on this as much as Auburn did. Now, you see Pat Washington coming out, so perhaps they won't do it, but they actually try to tip the ball by the first receiver and have another receiver around the ball to catch the deflection.
Well, with 3 seconds left, you try it again. Nope, this time they're more conservative. 2 wideouts, Woods and Carroll. The last snap of this first half, Campbell will fall on the football. And so Texas, an impressive 20-0 lead here at halftime. And Texas playing up to that tradition.
The legacy of Texas. You talked about that early on. That offensive line has really controlled the line of scrimmage, something I didn't think they could do, Gary, considering Auburn's front 5.
And Auburn wanting to come in here and see if their team was made of the right stuff. And I'm sure Pat Dye may question that as they go into the dressing room, so whether they can come back in the second half.
We see some of the Auburn players here with their head down. They can't really do that. There's still 30 minutes of football left. They still have an opportunity to get back in this football game.
The story in this first half has been the Texas offensive line. They have dominated the defensive line of Auburn. I think also the quarterback, Rob Morshell, has come through under pressure and done an excellent job directing this team, and the special teams play of Jeter Field. Points we'd like to go against Southern Mississippi, but look at this graphic.
The return yardage really tells the story. And Jeter Field has really been the story for Texas. He's been the big punt returner. Had 2 outstanding punt returns today. You're going to get a look at one of them. But early in the game, Texas was slow getting started, but this ignited them, got them started, woke Texas up, and allowed them to get 20 points on the board in the first half.
This return by Fields was 66 yards. Remember now, he got the job because Rob Morshell had to take over at quarterback due to the injury to Todd Dodge.
Opportunity knocks, and Jeter Fields met it.
Now, the other point that we want to make is around turnovers. I don't know if you can play a perfect football game, but Texas is approaching that in the first half.
Well, they have not turned the ball over. And interesting, Auburn has turned it over once last year. We mentioned at the top of the show, they led the nation in fewest number of turnovers. But here you're going to get a look at an interception by number 2, Jerry Gray. We've talked about the athleticism of these Texas players, the tradition of athletes they've had playing defensive back and offensive back. Here's one more look at Jerry Gray.
That was an intimidating play showing the kind of football team that Auburn was facing. Now, the third point was the quarterback situation. Todd Dodge was down with a shoulder separation. Rob Morshell had thrown 1 pass. Rick McIver had been out of football for a whole year. And look at the next graphic that we're going to show you. The passing was superb for Texas.
It really was remarkable. As you mentioned, Morshell had thrown 1 pass all last season, came in and threw the ball effectively, but the big play was by Rick McIver. Now, we told you that he was the big, strong quarterback. You can get one more look at it. This ball is 80 yards. Great athleticism by the receiver here, Kelvin F., number 40. Stops. The ball is thrown shortly. He stops, catches the ball, turns away from the defender, and trots into the end zone.
And so that 20-0 lead is imposing. But Pat, if you're in the dressing room with Auburn and Pat Dye, what are you seeing? What are they going to have to do?
Well, Auburn is going to get the ball in the second half. And I think it's very, very important for Auburn to come out in his first possession in the second half and establish something. Either get the ball to those receivers, get the ball to Bo Jackson on the perimeter. He's touched the ball once this first half.
That's right. These are 2 outstanding institutions, Auburn University and Texas. And we want to take you now to these 2 respective campuses to give you an idea what they're all about.
With the raising of its centennial in the spring of 1983, the University of Texas at Austin opened its centennial year, a year to focus on excellence. A commission of citizens and alumni completed a 3-year landmark study of the institution and its future. Private gifts with university matching funds increased endowed faculty positions to near 600. A year to rededicate, to celebrate. 100 years old, the University of Texas.
In the land-grant tradition, Auburn is a people's university based in research, instruction, and extension. From coal gasification to new rabies vaccines, Auburn is on the frontier of meaningful exploration, making the quality of life better for all of us. For 7 generations, Auburn has been serving the public as each generation helps form the next. The genius of Auburn University is that of Auburn's history, Auburn's people, and Auburn's place, the sum is greater than its parts.
What does it take to excel?
Jordan-Hare Stadium on the campus of Auburn. A stunned crowd as their home team, the Auburn Tigers, trailing at halftime 20-0. Now Auburn will receive to start the second half of play. And let's look now at some of the offensive keys. First for Auburn.
Randy Campbell was not really very effective in the first half, only 23 yards. Bo Jackson only touched the ball once the first half. Lionel James didn't get to the perimeter at all. Chris Woods, we expected to see him catch the ball deep, but he didn't. Ed West has been dominated by Eric Colley.
Now, as we mentioned, Auburn will receive. And what we want to also bring up, there's a new rule this year in college football. That is, if you win the flip of the coin at the start of the game, you can waive off the option and take your choice in the second half. That's what Auburn did today. They won the toss, elected to wait until the second half. They've elected to receive, and Bo Jackson, the man we mentioned, who touched the ball only one time, is back, and Jeff Ward will kick for Texas. Can Auburn come back? Jackson's going to let it go out of bounds, and they'll bring it to the 20-yard line. And now the key players for Texas defensively.
There he is, number 63, Tony Edwards, the middle linebacker, has really stuffed up the middle. Eric Colley, we told you earlier, has dominated Ed West, the tight end. Mossy Cade has not been much of a factor this first half. Jerry Gray made that stupendous interception in the first half. And John Haynes has really controlled that line of scrimmage.
So Texas with a 20-0 lead, defensively sets up at the 20, and let's see now if Auburn can get their offense rolling. Randy Campbell to Agee, Tommy Agee from Maplesville, Alabama. Getting 2, maybe 3 at the best. He'll bring up second down.
We should mention, Gary, too, that the first 5 teams that Auburn plays this year has at least 1 week off before they prepare for Auburn. Now, Texas has had a history of playing the wishbone very, very well. And we saw that here in the first half.
Auburn, along with South Carolina, rated as having the toughest schedule in the country. Second down, 7. Campbell on the option. Out to the 30, the 35. He's got the first down, and that may be what Pat Dye's been looking for. Mossy Cade, Craig Curry made the stop, an 18-yard run.
Pat Dye wanted to get his triple option at the perimeter. Here's an end zone view. The fake, there's the first option. Randy Campbell comes down the line. Now, Bo Jackson's with him, but he is covered, so Randy Campbell turns it up, picks up a block there, ducks his head, and gets the critical first down here.
At the 41, that's where the Tigers have it. They have some field position. Pat Dye, I would imagine he had a few words to say. He's not a quitter. Fred Akers, he's a competitor. Campbell back. The catch is made by Jeff Parks, sophomore. Parks, the backup, tied into Ed West. Gain of maybe 4, just short of the 45-yard line. Now, that's the schedule you were talking about, and it's not a bad thing to use for a visual, is it?
I like it. I would like to finish with Georgia and Alabama.
Well, that's a new hairstyle.
Looks a little bit like our producer, Rick LaCivita.
We understand he had Auburn written on the top of that skull before, but it's since disappeared. 2nd and 8. Campbell pitching back to Bo Jackson. To the 50. That's going to be a yard short of the first down, and a good defensive effort by Fred Acorn. The crowd not too happy about that. They thought some people arrived late after Jackson was dumped, but that's just the aggressiveness of this Texas defense.
Well, it's interesting, as we mentioned at halftime, we need to get Bo Jackson the ball and at the perimeter, and they did exactly that right there.
And a crowd that was very, very quiet. A loyal team. A loyal crowd waiting now to see if this drive can culminate into something. Auburn on 3rd down. They're 1 of 5 on 3rd down conversion. 3rd and a yard.
Campbell, second man. Bo Jackson, first down. And that's the Bo Jackson you expect to see.
This is just the kind of opening series Auburn wanted this first half. Take a look at the left side of Auburn's line. David Jordan, the all-SEC guard. Jay Jacobs. And there's 85, Ed West. Puts on a block on Holly there. And Ty Allard opens up the hole for Bo Jackson to get the first down.
That may be the best line charge by Auburn all afternoon long. First down at the 45. Campbell to Lionel James. James weaves his way into the 40. Haynes, Acorn making the stop. Adjacent to us up here is the Texas coaching staff, and they might be getting a little nervous.
You don't want to get this crowd riled, believe me.
It's going to bring up second down 4 for the Tigers. Tim Jesse now comes into the backfield. Bo Jackson will exit the line of scrimmage inside the 40. Campbell pitches to James, and he has a first down on a second effort.
Another look at the triple option. Watch Randy Campbell, the quarterback, fakes the number 25, Tim Jesse. You can see him read that defensive end. He keeps the ball, then pitches it to Lionel James, who with his second effort makes the first down.
Auburn already has surpassed their first half output in first downs. They have 3 on this drive. They had 2 the entire first half. First down at the 35. Jackson is back in. Campbell, and I may have had a busted play. The ball is loose, but I believe they've blown it dead. Eric Holly, number 93, one of the keys in this game, was there instantly. He told us yesterday he wanted to get to Campbell, and he did. Loss back across the 40, a loss of 6.
An important drive here for Auburn. Any first possession in each half is very, very critical.
10:40 to go in this third quarter. Second down now, 16. Jackson, James, Agee in the backfield. Campbell to Jackson. He's going to try to go outside the stick arm. Great effort. He's still 5 yards short of the first down. Third down. Jackson from Bessemer, Alabama. The crowd sensing something. Third down. They've outrushing the first half. They've out first down the first half. They're back on track. They hope to continue. Campbell. Ooh. Boy, that ball could have been picked off and gone for 6 points. Peavy, Richard Peavy, 42, the safety, was waiting on it.
I don't think Randy Campbell ever saw him.
Campbell looking for the signal to be flashed from the sideline or a play sent in. There's Peavy. Peavy, a sophomore out of Houston. Great range. Some people feel he reminds them of Johnny Johnson. There's the Auburn coaches. Boy, they'd like to get on the scoreboard.
They're facing a 4th and 6 right here.
There's the guy they're talking to, just out of view by Pat Dye, sending the play in on a 4th down, 4th and 6. Campbell in trouble, and he's hit Ed West, the intended receiver. He needed about 1 second more, and he might have gotten the ball delivered to Ed West. Tony Edwards was there.
A 4th and 5 situation on the opening drive of the second half. You're going to see a blitz by the Texas defense. You're going to see number 63 and 83 come right up the gut, put the pressure on Randy Campbell, and no time to deliver the ball to his tight end.
So instead of maybe going for a long field goal, they go for it on 4th. They come up short, and Texas has the football.
Morshall answered most questions about his passing ability. Doug Dawson's really cleared the way and dominated the line of scrimmage. John Walker perhaps reached some of that potential we talked about. Ronnie Robinson had some nice runs in the first half. But Mike Ruther again clears the way for those Texas running backs.
They stopped him on 4th down. They have it at the 31, and John Walker goes for 5. Greg Carr made the stop. Walker, 48 yards, and now the keys defensively for the Auburn Tigers.
Doug Smith not been the factor we expected, Gary. Humphrey has really been defeated in the trenches today. Greg Carr has not been a factor as much as we expected as well, and David King put some hits on, but he's trying to do too much.
Carr's making a lot of tackles, but they're about 5 yards up the field. 2nd down 5, evidenced by the last play. McIver, the quarterback. Walker. That'll be a 1st down for Texas. Jeff Jackson made the stop.
Here we see the Texas play selection in the first half. Although Texas only threw 8 passes, they were efficient and effective on those 8 attempts. One long touchdown pass by McIver, and Morshall's been effective as well.
We were mistaken that ball just short of the 1st down. It's 3rd down, less than a yard, but Texas sustained drive right now with a 20-0 lead. They're eating up the clock. Walker, and he's got it this time. Doug Smith made the stop, the senior from Bayboro, North Carolina. There is Randy Campbell. He's looking for some answers. This team in that first half didn't get the ball very much, 20 plays. They had a good drive going here in the 3rd, only to be stymied on a 4th down. War Eagle 5, he wants some points. 1st down for the Longhorns. Ronnie Robinson, 50. And he's got a 1st down. Big, strong running back, Danny Robinson, stopping number 49, Robinson.
Number 27, David King, the fine defensive back of Auburn. Looked like he's injured a knee or a thigh there. He had some outstanding plays there in the first half. Very nice young man and quite a football player.
He has played well, probably delivered the tackle of the game.
But when your defensive backs are making too many tackles, you know something's wrong.
Another 1st down for the Longhorns. Now at the Auburn 46. 7:29 left in the 3rd quarter. Walker. Boy, that's characteristic of Walker. He loves to soar over the defensive interior. Jackson with a tackle.
You talked about the way he soared. You mentioned earlier that he has high jumped 7 feet. John Walker is going to get this ball. Follow his center and guard, Ruther and Dawson. You can see a little leap here. One time Fred Akers told me he leaped 6 yards. He still held onto the ball.
He's had some brilliant moments. 2nd and 5. Boy, Billy Boy Bryant to the bottom. Duhan to the top. Here comes Ronnie Robinson to the 33, and this is just power football now.
It really is remarkable. They're running right at the heart of that Auburn defense with that fullback. It's the most basic play in football. You give the ball to the fullback, blocking runs off the center's block, and Ronnie Robinson's been successful this entire 3rd quarter on that.
You can get ready for a game like this as broadcasters. You can figure out what you think's going to happen, and one thing that has happened here, and I'll bet most people didn't figure, just what you mentioned. Auburn's defensive line being blown out of there. On a 1st down, Mike Luck inside the 30. Let's look now at some scores. North Carolina, they're having a good day. Dick Crump's team will be 3-0. Now Clemson has taken the lead over the Dogs. Iowa, that Iowa team, Hayden Price said this is the best one I've had. And Indiana now leads Kentucky. Sam Weiss coming out of the NFL doing the job. And Duke looking for their 1st win. They got beat by Indiana last week. Harry Orr, and that's the defense that Auburn's known for, is just stuffing you up the middle. Harold Holman, the backup nose guard. Tech and Furmantine. Harvard, our producer, Rick Lasafita. You hear the roar in the truck?
Yeah, I figured we'd see that one. All of Wall Street's concerned with that.
Dartmouth leads Princeton. And Brown, they play Penn State later this year, don't they? Third down, almost 9 yards to go, McIver. And Auburn's equal to it. Quincy Williams, 93, a senior, a 13-yard loss, and that might spark this team. A loss to the 45, they've got to kick the football. Lionel James led the nation a year ago, back for the punt. He had a 10.5 average last week. There's your time left in the third. Belichick with a 39.5 average, and he hit up beauty. And that one may be down in the Gulf of Mexico. With 4:19 to go in this third quarter. Texas still leads it 20-0. Jordan-Hare Stadium, the campus of Auburn. Auburn against Texas, and right now Texas with a 20-0 lead. We want to remind you, next Saturday, 9 o'clock Eastern, we'll be in the Orange Bowl. Notre Dame against Miami of Florida. Auburn from the 20 will set it up. Campbell to A.G. And A.G. gets a good 6 yards on that play. That might be the best fullback run of the day for the Tigers.
Well, that's what they need, 4 and 5 and 6 yards and first down. We have to be aware of the clock. There's 4:05 left in the third quarter, and time becomes Auburn's enemy here. They're 20 points down. The wishbone, as we both know, is reputed not to be a catch-up type of offense.
But Auburn does a lot of things with the wishbone that no one else will do. They'll set people out, they'll split them out, they'll run a lot of motion. Let's see if they use it here. Second down, 3. And this time, a new fullback, Hollis Campbell, does not get the first down. We have a penalty flag, however, at the 26-yard line. Offside against Texas.
We talked about the play in the trenches here. Number 90, John Haynes for Texas. He looks like he's offside right there. He beat the count.
That would get
Somebody jumped into the neutral zone.
I think we have the officials in our booth right now.
We saw it. It was John Haynes.
You know, very few penalties. Auburn has not received any. Texas 4, now for 30.
Defense. First down.
First down by penalty. That'll move it across the 30 to the 31. Buford, Woods will be split out. 3.5 minutes to go, third quarter. Campbell. This is Campbell to Campbell. Hollis Campbell. Maybe a yard or two, and right now they're not being very fancy out there.
Well, it's interesting that the previous series they were successful getting again to the outside, to the perimeter with Jackson and James. This second series here in the second half, they've been running the fullback up the middle. I really believe they need to get back outside, give James and Jackson an opportunity to display those marvelous skills they have.
Auburn trailing by 20. Now 3 minutes left in the third quarter. Carroll is split out to the near side. Woods to the top. Randy Campbell pitching back. Bo Jackson. Jackson doesn't get an awful lot. Good pursuit that time by Ed Williams, number 83. It's like David King having some problems with muscle cramps in his legs. And that is the official report. He has that difficulty, could play, and will probably be back. Third down now, and still a long 4.
It seems like Auburn's been a lot in 3rd and 4 situations today. 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5. Those are very difficult calls to convert down to make.
This time they split out only one man. That's Woods. Now West also moves out about 4 yards. Campbell, oh, he pitches. No one is there. Hawley's got it. The back to receive the pitch was knocked down, and there was no place for the ball to go. It was Craig Curry who came flying through. Colley, who's been playing very well, was quickly on the football.
A look from the end zone. A wishbone is a timing type of offense. If you can disrupt it, as you're going to see number 5, Craig Curry, come into the picture to disrupt it right there. The ball is pitched over Lionel James's head, and there's number 93, Eric Colley, coming in to make the play.
Eric Colley, who had some injury problems a year ago, but he's playing full steam today. Another one. They trail 20-0. Pat Dye probably in disbelief. It's been said, and we said it at the top of the show, that most football teams make their most improvement from the first to the second game, but that is not the case for Auburn.
Texas has something to do with that, believe me.
McIver, the quarterback, and it's stuffed this time. John Walker, he's going to lose a couple of yards. Auburn defense playing much better in the second half.
Donnie Humphrey, number 79, right there, nice through to disrupt that play.
The second down, 14 for the Longhorns. I would say offhand that Texas has established some depth at quarterback. They have Dodge. He'll be rejoining him maybe a week or two. They've got McIver and Morshell. Not a bad situation.
Well, interesting to see what happens when Dodge gets back.
He had won the job. McIver giving up to Terry Orr, and the ball is fumbled, and Auburn has recovered.
I was beginning to think, Gary, that Texas was going to play an absolutely perfect game. That's their first really mistake.
Nate Caesar, Jr. from Valdosta, Georgia, coming up with a fumble recovery, and Auburn will have it at the 25. So the Tigers with an opportunity, and they played well defensively. They still haven't gotten their offense on track. 1:42 left in the third quarter. James Jackson in the backfield. Campbell, the quarterback. Agee, the fullback. And here comes Agee. Tommy Agee out to the 27-yard line at best. Second down. There's your time left in the lower right-hand portion of the screen.
There's the backup quarterback, number 10, Pat Washington, a 6'2 sophomore. He is a strong thrower type. He may get a chance to play yet today.
He's had some problems with the toe. He dropped the Chester drawers on his toe, losing his toenail. 2nd and 7. James to throw back to Campbell. But I'll tell you, Mossy Cade was not fooled.
This Texas defensive team is so well disciplined and prepared. You're going to get a look at the from ground level at a trick play here. Randy Campbell is going to hand the ball off to Lionel James or pitch the ball to James. James is going to sweep right, pull up. Now, really, there's only one player to fool, number 3, Mossy Cade, but he is not fooled. So you're going to see 3, Cade come up and put a stop, what could have been a big play for Auburn.
That's the experience of this Texas defense. 3rd down, 4. Campbell on the option. He is going to be, I believe, short of the first down. Tony Edwards made sure of that. Edwards playing in place of the injured Jeff Whiting.
Again there, though, Gary, Auburn faced with 3rd and 4. I don't think you can face it all day long like Auburn has and expect to keep drives alive.
They're going to measure. Randy Campbell expectantly waiting. They got it. So Auburn, with 16 seconds left in the third quarter, maintains the possession. Jeff Parks will come in with a play at tight end. West will exit. Buford will be split to the top. And they may not get this play off before the end of the quarter, and they will not. That's the end of the third quarter. Our score, Texas 20, Auburn nothing. Texas at Auburn is an exclusive presentation of CBS Sports. We'll be back with fourth quarter action after this message and a word from your local station. Texas versus Auburn, an exclusive presentation of CBS Sports, is sponsored by
Chrysler Corporation, moving America ahead with advanced technology.
We start the fourth quarter from the 35. Auburn has the football. Randy Campbell pitching back to James. A yard, maybe two. There's a penalty flag on the other side of the field. Jerry Gray made the stop. Offside, Texas. So they'll pick up 5 yards on the play.
First down has really told the story here. In the first down department, Texas has averaged 7.6 yards a carry, while Auburn's only averaged 1.7, Gary.
Jordan-Hare Stadium. We've just started the fourth quarter. Texas with a 20-0 lead. Gary Bender along with Pat Hayden. Our first week of college football, our second year to be with you. And boy, we're looking forward to having with us Saturday as we're at the Orange Bowl. Notre Dame, Miami.
Lined up in the neutral zone. Still first down.
So it'll be first down and 5 from the 40 for Auburn. Alabama, just about, what, 100 miles north of here? And Penn State has tied it up. Penn State decided to go with Doug Strang at quarterback. First and 5. Campbell, and he is smashed. That's Buchanan, Mike Buchanan. And Campbell won't last the season getting hit like that very often. So on a first and 5, they lose 2 at second and 7. And now Indiana. Sam White, what a job he's doing in his first year, leading the Kentucky Wildcats Duke. Ben Bennett and the Blue Devils have lost a couple. They may win one now. Tim Jesse's coming to the backfield, replacing Bo Jackson. Second and 7. He throws. Woods. Chris Woods had 1 catch last week. This time couldn't come up with it.
We're going to get an isolated look at Chris Woods on this attempted reception. Randy Campbell came down the line of scrimmage with the option of running the ball or throwing it. Here, he decides to throw the ball late. There's plenty of room there for Chris Woods. The ball is thrown a little bit low, but still catchable. Chris Woods probably should have caught that ball.
Randy Campbell in this game has hit 2 of 11 for 25 yards.
That's not going to do it, particularly when you're down by 20 points.
Plus an interception. Third down, 7. He has time. Buford intercepted. Jerry Gray, however, there is a penalty flag. Jerry Gray, who had an interception earlier, has one here, but it's going to be, I believe, defensive pass interference or holding defensively.
Perhaps the break Auburn needs, you're going to see again the receiver, number 11, Clayton Buford, come downfield. We talked about them throwing deep. It really does beat number 17, Fred Acorn. But you see number 2, the free safety, Jerry Gray, read the play beautifully, as he has all afternoon. Jumps up, catches the ball at its highest point, and it's intercepted.
You can make contact with the receiver as long as he is a potential blocker. And you saw the man, as he went by, try to bump him. That's where the interference occurred. A 23-yard penalty. It sets it up at the 40. First down, Auburn. Campbell to James. And the wide stuff, the speed of Texas has been equal to all of it. Ty Allard, 48 over there, a sophomore from Houston. Mossy Cade.
There's Bo Jackson, only 3 rushes for 13 yards. He's a man who has remarkable athletic ability, and somehow Texas has found a way to defend him. Auburn's got to get the ball to him some more if they're going to get back in this football game. He caught a long touchdown pass last week, too, so we know that he can be a good receiver.
Historically, Texas has played the wishbone very well, as evidenced in their series against Oklahoma. AG. And you might recall, they, in all effect and purposes, drove Oklahoma out of the wishbone. Notre Dame, and that's our game Saturday against Miami, leading Michigan State. Michigan State beat Colorado. So next week on Saturday, regional games beginning at 3:30 Eastern, and then Pat and I will be in the Orange Bowl. Are they going to wake up the echoes? That great tradition in South Bend, Indiana.
Howard Schnellenberger thinks he has a pretty good football team in Miami as well.
He's starting a freshman quarterback.
They've always played Notre Dame tough.
Third down, 9. And nothing. John Haynes at 6'7", and Ray Woodward at 6'6", buried 5'11", Randy Campbell.
Very disappointed Randy Campbell. Never had an opportunity to throw that ball. This game has been won or lost, depending upon your point of view, in the trenches.
Coming in the kick is going to be Colbert with a 46.3 average, and Gray will go back. Jerry Gray, they had Fields in there earlier. High snap. He gets it high. And that's going to be a magnificent kick at the 2. Colbert has just been superb today for Auburn. A 43-yarder. No return. Texas deep in their own territory, but they lead it by 20 big points. Texas has the football deep, but they have a 20-point lead. 11:29 to go in this fourth quarter. The Longhorns, their opening game of the season next week. They meet North Texas State, then Rice, then the battle with Oklahoma. Auburn has to go to Knoxville and meet Tennessee.
Doesn't get any easier for Auburn.
Walker or the running back, Morshell, back in at quarterback for the Longhorns. And he may be tackled for a safety. No, they're not going to give it to him. I want to see this on replay, and here it goes. Let's look at it.
You're going to see a defensive line charge here. Watch this. Terry Orr is the fullback. He's going to be given the ball just to try to take it and get some field position. The ball is really fumbled a little bit as he was receiving it. But Donnie Humphreys, number 79, Doug Smith, Dow Ottman, the whole interior defensive line of Auburn is there to make the play.
I think that was a good call. You could see his forward progress in the field of play. Second down, virtually 10. Morshell trying to get some operating room. He got 2. And now let's go to New York for an NCAA report. And here is Brent Musburger.
Gary, Notre Dame has scored on Michigan State. Here is quarterback Blair Keel rolling. Mark Bavaro is open. He's got him, and it's 7-0, the Irish with the lead. Let's go back to Gary.
Well, Brent, we're going to be watching the Fighting Irish Saturday, and Blair Keel's played well.
It was a nice throw going to his left.
Here it's third down and 9. The ball at the 2. Orr gets it out to the 5, and they're going to have to kick from there. This is a chance now for Auburn to at least get on the scoreboard. Lionel James will come in. He's dangerous. The punter, Telchik, will have very little room to kick the ball. He's averaged 41-3 thus far on 3 efforts.
Auburn's come from behind before against Alabama, against Boston College last year, but there's only 9 minutes left in the ballgame.
Donnie Humphrey comes limping off the field, and they're going to have to replace him. Running into the field of play, Gerald Williams. Oh, he didn't hit that very far, but very high. But it gets a Texas bounce. To the 40-yard line of Auburn. So Telchik, under pressure, gets a 55-yard punt. Texas leads it by 20. Left in the struggle, 9-13. 73,000 watching. Texas thus far dominate this game, 20-0. At the 40, Auburn, first down. Campbell, he'll get 2, maybe 3. Tony DeGreat, 99, making the tackle for the Texas Longhorns. He looks like he might be having some muscle cramps. Interestingly, Pat, it's different playing on the natural surface.
You know, another interesting thing is Texas hasn't played on natural surface since 1979 against Missouri.
Well, looking ahead to tomorrow on CBS, and many of you people watching this telecast, especially in New York, you're going to see an NFL doubleheader. And what a game this is going to be. John Robinson's Los Angeles Rams against the Packers. The Packers, they can score some points. Lynn Dickey having an outstanding year. And then an important Eastern Division showdown. The Cowboys, who come from behind twice to win against the Giants. Other regional action. Be sure now to be with us 12:30 Eastern. That's tomorrow here on CBS. And it'll all start with the NFL Today with Brent Musburger and his crew. They'll keep you up to date on what's happening. Texas last year posted 3 shutouts defensively. And they are trying to get another one here today with 8:53 left. Second down, 8. AG spins to the 46-yard line. The crowd now starting to think maybe they ought to open it up a little more.
They have not been too effective running the fullback up the middle.
Let's get an update on Michigan State. 7-7. George Perlis coming over from the Pittsburgh organization. They beat Colorado, and he's changed the uniforms. Greg Carr. You can tell he doesn't want to get back on that field. He'd like to see that offense get a sustained drive going. Campbell broken up in the air, and Bo Jackson's got it. Jackson may have gotten a yard after all of that. Looked like John Haynes at 6'7". Let's see on the replay if we can pick it up.
Texas did a very fine job all last season. We've seen it a couple times today of getting their arms up, hands up. Number 90, John Haynes, who's 6'7", deflects the ball. Bo Jackson is alert enough, of course, to catch the ball and advance it a few more yards.
Well, he's a center fielder in baseball, and he played like one there.
But again, that's good defensive coaching, getting your hands up in the air when the quarterback's throwing the ball.
Well, on 4th down and 4, they're going for it. Campbell, Woods, nothing doing but a penalty flag. We have pass interference. Going to go against Mossy Cade.
Mossy Cade, you see number 3. He's playing off. It's 4th and 5, you remember, so he's giving a little bit of a cushion. He's coming up on number 1, Chris Woods. Didn't look like a pass interference to me.
Well, the ball wasn't even close to him either.
And that's how the rule is defined.
They're going to pick up the flag.
Okay.
Pat, they're picking up the flag. That's a good call.
For being pass interference, the ball has to be catchable. That was not. The ball was actually tipped by number 93, Eric Holly. At 2 successive plays, the ball is a tip.
The referee, Dixon Holman, out of Arlington, Texas. We have a split crew between the Southwest Conference and the Southeastern Conference here today, 3-3. And they have done an excellent job, and I like the courage coming in, correcting what they thought was not the right decision. As an end result, on 4th down, the ball is turned over. And now Danny Akers, Coach Akers' son, will come in and play quarterback for Texas. 5'9", 160-pounder. The Texas Longhorns doing it all. The last 2 passes, knocking him down, not even close to the intended receiver.
Well, they have tremendous size up there in that front, and again, good coaching of getting their arms up.
Into the ball game is Russell Hayes for Texas. He split out to the bottom of the screen. Brown and Davis, the running back. Akers giving off to Brown. He'll bring it to the 43 of Auburn. 2nd down coming up. 7:13 left in this game. A surprise. Auburn being shut out. Texas playing well, but not surprising. And we have Donnie Humphrey down for Auburn. Okay, we're going to update another football game for you. We're going to switch it to New York for the NCAA report. And here's Brent.
Gary, lightning has just struck in South Bend. Dave Urema, the Michigan State quarterback, pulls out. He's got Darrell Turner on a crossing pattern, and look at the crushing downfield block. The Irish safety men are both knocked out. It's an 82-yard touchdown. They're tied at 7. Let's go back to Gary.
Thank you, Brent. We thank you as we're going to take a break now. Donnie Humphrey, who missed last year with a knee injury, is shaken up. We'll get the status of that injury when we return. Santa will get the extent of his injury as we have a 2nd and 6 for Texas with 7:07 1:07 left in this game. They're at the 42 of Auburn. Oh, what a hit this time. And that's the man who checked in, Gerald Robinson, or Gerald Williams, correction. And that's the kind of play that Auburn had last week and had most of the 1982 season. Irvin Davis was the ball carrier.
At the 41. The Texas quarterback is number 12, Danny Akers.
And the CBS eye is on Texas, and I'll tell you, the eyes of the United States, the football world, are going to be on Texas, as impressive as they have been today. Danny Akers back. Ball partially deflected as he was belted. Akers dropped back at the 49. That was Gerald Robinson. And so, fourth down.
There's Pat Dye. Now, if he loses his football game here today, he can't get too upset. This is not a conference football game. He's got to regroup. He's got a very difficult schedule ahead of him. He plays Tennessee next week. He gets into the heart of the SEC schedule. Who's got to get these guys ready to play next week?
Could lose early and still come out as a national champion, as evidenced by Penn State last year. Pelchick back to kick at the 45. James will receive the punt, but right now we're going to have another 25-second clock expire, a 5-yard penalty, delay a game. Tulane. Boy, that Florida State team, figure them out, William.
That defense is doing something for them. They're giving up a lot of points.
They got scared by East Carolina, and Clemson now leading the Georgia Bulldogs by 10. 6:22 left in this game. Pelchick, beautiful kick. Very, very high. James going to let it hit. And Texas is going to have it at the 5-yard line. 41-yard kick. Let's check some other scores throughout college football today. Alabama leading Mississippi. Mississippi, the new coach this year, Billy Brewer. And Alabama with Ray Perkins now there. And Penn State, that's more offense than they've had in a while. Last week they had, what, 3 points against Cincinnati, and Kentucky now leads Indiana. Wisconsin trails Missouri, that game being played up in Madison. Kansas over Wichita State, both those teams looking for a win.
Gary, Pat Washington, the backup quarterback, has checked in.
He's from Mobile, Alabama. On the option to James, and he just got out of the end zone. Almost tackled for the safety by Peavy. The safeties, Peavy and Gray, have just been superb for Texas.
What a factor they've been. The strong safeties, you mentioned Peavy, Curry, have disrupted the timing of that wishbone offense. Of course, Jerry Gray, we've seen him make those remarkable interceptions.
Well, James had a 94-yard run last week against Southern Mississippi that was called back for a clip. They were looking for a 95-yarder here.
Oh, they'd love to see one right now, believe me.
2nd and 14. And we're going to have a delay of game. They didn't get the ball snapped in time. Well, they can't take 5 yards. They only have half the distance on that one. And that, by the way, is the first penalty against Auburn. Texas with 7.
We mentioned at the top of the show that Fred Akers,
No snap. Delay of game offense.
that Fred Akers is very high on his front 7 defensively, Gary, and for good reason. We've seen that all afternoon.
These two coaches, Akers 11th on the active winning list, Dye 12th. Very similar backgrounds, very similar records, but today it's been Fred Akers' day. That's Ron Middleton, the tight end, jumping up to the top of the line. Washington to Jackson. Jackson brings it out to the 5-6-yard line. Jitter Fields and Jerry Gray over there to make the stop. So it'll come up to a 3rd down.
Nothing worse than being a quarterback on your own 7-yard line down by 20 points and facing a linebacker like Tony Edwards. Watch his eyes.
He looks like a defensive lineman. He's so big. Pitch to James. James may have the corner, and he has the first down. Lionel James out to the 20. But what a struggle it is to get outside against Texas.
From behind the Auburn offense, watch Pat Washington, the backup quarterback now, get the pitch to Lionel James. This is something they haven't been doing a very good job of. I should say Texas is really taking this away from them. But this time they do get it to Lionel James, and you can see what Auburn's missing when he is not touching the ball.
James now with 32 yards on 10 carries. First down just short of the 20. Washington pitching to Tim Jesse. 5 and close to a 10-yard pickup. Tim Jesse, sophomore from the Alabama area. He was a surprise last year. Mark Lang making the stop for Texas. And do they have the first down or not? It is a first down for Auburn. Bo Jackson will come back in. Jesse leaves.
Here we talked about what a loss would mean to Auburn here. For a win for Texas obviously gets them off to a wonderful start. The next 2 games they should win, puts them into an Oklahoma game in very good position.
Alvin Evans has come in for Lionel James. And now they're splitting out Evans to the bottom of the screen. And deflected again. Buford, number 11, the man he wanted to get the ball to. That's where that size up front. DeGrate, Haynes, the big men.
It's interesting. They're tipping so many passes, they're collecting so many balls because these quarterbacks are so close to the line of scrimmage in the wishbone offense. They're right there at the line of scrimmage, so when those defensive linemen put their hands up, they can be 8 feet tall.
Carroll comes in replacing Buford. Auburn to Knoxville against Tennessee, and Tennessee played Pittsburgh so well only to lose. The first half is where Texas got off the mark and got this advantage. Second half, Auburn's played them pretty even. That's Collis Campbell. Campbell to the 33-yard line. 3 minutes, 42 seconds left in the game. I'll say one thing about the faithful Auburn fans here. They'll be back. They love this football team. We talked to a lady yesterday. She says, I just have to squeal sometimes. I get so excited about this football game. They'll be back. This Auburn team, it's not, as you pointed out, Pat, a conference game. It's early. On a 3rd and 7, Washington. Buford got it. He's made a move. And that'll be a first down. Gary Gray made the tackle, a 21-yard pickup. Washington has an arm.
We've been waiting to see a little bit more of this all day long. Pat Washington, a strong right-arm quarterback, sets up short. He throws the ball, just a simple little out pattern by Clayton Buford. And Washington's going to make number 3, Mossy Cade, miss him there to get the ball upfield for a big gain.
A gain of 21. The line of scrimmage, the 47 of Texas. Washington. Carroll's got it. He'll step out of bounds. That'll be at the 29. Finding some success. An 18-yard pickup. Jesse will come in. Substitution also for this Auburn team. Coming in the game is Trey Gaines. First down from the 29. A little delay handoff to Campbell. Collis Campbell out of bounds at the 20-yard line. Okay, let's check on some other football. Let's go now to New York for an NCAA report. Here's Brent Musburger.
Gary, it's a wild shootout in South Bend. Here come the Irish. Scored tied. A little bit of a delay. And here's Greg Bell, who got 4 touchdowns last week against Purdue. A 50-yard run. And now Notre Dame leads Michigan State 14-7. We will update this story all afternoon long. Back to Gary Bender.
Well, Brent, Greg Bell is having a season. He had 3 touchdowns in that opening win against Purdue. Second down, 2. We're going to have a delay right now. They reset the football. The Texas bench and the Lone Star State of Texas are going to have the tower burning orange tonight. Back on the state, or on the campus in Austin. That is Casey Smith, the starting offensive tackle for Texas. Washington. Wood, he got it.
Perhaps a little too late. Pat Washington just takes a short drop. Again, watch the defensive linemen go up with their arms to Chris Wood. He's being played loosely by the defensive back, Fred Acorn, there for the catch and the first down.
That's a first down grab just short of the 10-yard line. That kind of salved some wounds for Woods. He's had a tough afternoon. Auburn would like to get on the scoreboard. Washington on a keeper. Struggles for a couple of yards, and that's all. Now later, following this game, we're going to be switching to Lexington, Kentucky to bring you the Kentucky-Indiana game. Vern Lundquist and Steve Davis will describe the action. It's been a very, very close game, so stay with us all day. And of course, we'll have scores and updates, highlights, and later, the fights. So be sure and stay with us. Second down, 7. Washington, 5, Washington to the 1. Washington is making a bid to become the starting quarterback for the Auburn Tigers.
Well, he's brought some life into their offense.
It's a matter of pride, possibly, for this Auburn team and this man, Pat Dye, to just break the scoring deadlock, or break the scoreless afternoon. They trail 20-0. A chance now to score at the 1:43 mark of this fourth quarter. Bo Jackson, touchdown. Jackson breaks the ice for this Auburn team, and that'll build for next week against Tennessee. Al Del Greco, the snap by Brian Delaney. Man to hold, and it's 20-7. That was a 95-yard drive.
Pat Washington was impressive, Gary.
He had an excellent drive as far as throwing the football.
Take a look from the end zone, Gary. Bo Jackson, the geography major, covers the last yard of geography up and over. Gets hit. His momentum carries him into the end zone for the score. It did not again come easily. That Texas defensive front, a ground look. Here's Jackson over the top. Bob Fishman, our director, providing us some nice shots of it.
And that's Jackson's second touchdown of the season. Rushing, he had also last week a 44-yard touchdown catch.
But the story, too, I think, Gary, is he just did not touch the ball enough. There he is, Bo Jackson. He only carried the ball perhaps, I think, 5 times. Rarely did he get outside and give Texas some credit.
Well, Washington has to have some confidence in his playing ability. The sophomore marching in 95 yards, taking 4.5 minutes to do it. Now let's look for the onside kick, huh? With 1:33. Del Greco, and they're shifting over. Look at this.
A surprise.
And Texas has it. That's Greg Curry, a backup safety. I want to remind you once again, Kentucky, Indiana, that game being played in Lexington. Kentucky's won their first 2. Indiana trying to make it 2-0. Sam White, Jerry Claiborne, and it'll be right on your screen immediately following this. And there's our score. Kentucky leading at 17-13 after Indiana led earlier. Rob Morshell, the quarterback. They've used 3 of them today. Morshell, McIver, and Danny Akers. going to lose yardage. Well, in this second half, Auburn has played him and played him even. Now with a 7-0 lead in the second half, but they got down 20-0. And there's the time left in the score. Who was a quarterback at Arkansas, played on a Southwest Conference championship team out of Whiteville, Arkansas, coaching in Wyoming, an assistant at Texas, coming back now, and this is a big opening win for his Longhorns. Notre Dame with a 14-7 lead. Tulane 14-0. And North Carolina now 41-10 over Miami of Ohio. Alabama 21-0. Ray Perkins has that pro offense rolling. Kansas leads Wichita State. Duke, they did lead 14-0, now 14-6. Joe Morrison, the new coach at South Carolina. Second down, 12. Jenkins in motion. And Michael Brown has stormed down again. John Daly, a junior from Birmingham. 96 was the first to get there. And now timeout by Auburn. Auburn has one timeout remaining with 1:16 left in the game. So Morshell will go to the sideline to visit with Coach Akers. Texas will have Todd Dodge back, Pat, by the time they play Oklahoma. At least they figure that. So they've got North Texas and Rice in the interim time. They get him healed up. The way the quarterbacks have played today at a question mark looks like a very strong point now for this Texas team.
It poses an interesting problem for Fred Akers. It's kind of a problem a coach wants to be in. 3 potential quarterbacks who can all play. We've all found that out.
There is his son, Danny Akers. The line of scrimmage, the 38-yard line with 1:16 to go in the game, 20-7. Texas. Hayes split out. Epps, who had the 80-yard touchdown catch to the other side. Morshell. And again, Auburn on 3 consecutive plays have really played well defensively. Well, are we ready to announce our Chevrolet Most Valuable Players?
I think we're ready to give it a try.
Okay, for Auburn, it's going to be David King, the cornerback for the Auburn Tigers. And for the University of Texas, it'll be Doug Dawson, the All-American candidate at guard. A check in the amount of $1,000 will be donated to each college's general scholarship fund to further assist qualified students in all chosen academic files.
Well, we had to pick Doug Dawson, I think, Garrett, because that offensive line of Texas really dominated that line of scrimmage. We talked about that all game long.
That was the big surprise, I think, to most people. King, on the other hand, delivered a tremendous hit.
Provided some leadership and made too many tackles. When your defensive corners make as many tackles as he did, you're in trouble. There's number 66, Doug Dawson. Excellent student. Petroleum engineering, Gary. That's appropriate for Texas.
He said, I want to come in here. I like to play in places where people don't like you. And he played well. There's the kick to Lionel James. James to the 23-yard line, and we have a penalty flag. That was a 43-yard kick that time by Telchik. So a game that didn't have a lot of penalties. Now we're starting to pick up a few here in the fourth quarter. Again, Kentucky, Indiana to follow this. Later then, the Boom Boom Mancini fight. That was a personal foul against Texas. And they're announcing the most valuable players here for this crowd. And there's our man from Texas, Doug Dawson. We want to thank some people here. The Auburn Athletic Director and head football coach Pat Dye and his staff for their help and hospitality prior to this game. And Texas head football coach Fred Akers and his staff for their assistance. Sports information directors of both schools, David Housel of Auburn and Bill Little of Texas.
Oh, what a nice job they've done.
Boy, they're super people. Washington back. Buford. And Buford to the 41-yard line, and Washington has really given this team a lift. 21-yard completion. So Auburn trying to salvage something here with 50 seconds. Washington. And dropped by Buford. Clayton Buford. Washington is 4 of 7 for 69 yards.
And that ball was just dropped. It should be 5 of 7.
Buford will come out. Jesse comes in. Carroll comes in. Campbell, who Washington replaced, finished the day 3 of 12 for 25 yards and an interception.
But he led that team to a 9-3 record last year, Gary.
And Texas has to be given a lot of credit. Washington. Oh, it's picked off this time by Curry. Craig Curry. And Curry to the 41-yard line. The safeties have just been superb. We said it before. This isn't even a starter. Craig Curry, a backup to Peavy, has a 33-yard interception.
I think Texas must manufacture those defensive backs down there somewhere. But they, as you mentioned, they keep coming with them. Johnny Johnson a few years ago is now playing with the Los Angeles Rams. We've seen Jerry Gray play so well today. Craig Curry, Richard Peavy.
And so Texas is 35 seconds away from victory number 1. Morshell will come in to finish it off. And a disappointed Auburn bench. Trying to kill the clock, and he almost got taken apart on that play. Morshell went back just trying to kill the clock, and Auburn was coming after it. John Daly back there, lost on the play. And lost all the way back to the 50-yard line. Make it the 48. Time expiring now. They will not even snap the ball again. Well, Pat, your thoughts? We'll have those in just a moment. Texas has won it 20-7. And so the executive producer of College Sports is Kevin O'Malley, and today's coverage of the Texas-Auburn game was produced by Rick Lasavita and directed by Bob Fishman. Our associate producer was Craig Silver. Field technical manager was Doug Fleetum. Our technical director was Charles Stenberg. Audio James Butka. And our broadcast associates were Vic Frank and Pierce O'Neill. Well, Pat, now, what about your final thoughts?
Texas dominated the line of scrimmage. We said that all day long. I think the other story was Bo Jackson just did not get the ball enough in the open field.
Texas came in here. They didn't know what kind of football team they had. They do now. On the other hand, Pat Dye wanted to win a big game. He wanted to get some national recognition. He's going to have to wait a little bit longer. He's going to find out if his team is made of the right stuff.
He's got a lot of big games the rest of the season as well.
It's going to be an excellent season ahead for both these teams. So Texas on this winning side. Auburn now goes to 1-1 after beating Southern Mississippi last week. 20-7, our final score. So for Pat Hayden, I'm Gary Bender. We hope you've enjoyed it. We thank our statistician, Mike Swanson, our spotter, Steve Bear, and now let's go to Brent Musburger in New York, as we'll later be going to that Kentucky-Indiana game.
All right, Gary, thank you. Next for the Longhorns, North Texas State. They
Did you see Riggins on the outside? And that was loose. That came inside with Dugan. It's too bad they didn't get that one off.
Now they sort this out. We'll pause 5 seconds and allow our stations along the line